Mobile.
Good
I'm
morning.
not sure why I always start out like that. Like I literally every time I'm like Mobile.
Every time.
Yeah, I gotta come up with a new
Mob
tagline.
Town. Mob City.
Mob Town, what's happening? Yeah, that's good. Yeah, we're changing it up this time. That's so good. All right, cool. So, guys, welcome back to another interview of our Do Some Good publication. This is the second year that we've interviewed folks that are in the magazine project. And if you haven't gotten a physical magazine,
get one.
You can go find one. Any organization in it will hand you one. But if you're a digital person, no problem. Just hop on our website, themobilerundown.com. There's a Do Some Good section. You can go there. You can read the digital version. All cool.
Sounds great. Yeah.
All right. So hang out, and then we're going to tell you who we've got on. Just a second.
Hello there.
Hey there.
Okay, so I'm super excited about this interview today, but one of the things I want to give you as a hint before we get started is readers are leaders.
Ooh.
Is that true or what?
That's totally true. I like to read.
Yeah. You actually like to read like multiple books at a time. It's kind of bizarre.
I don't know if that's good or bad, but yeah, I'll have multiple books going on at one time. That is totally true.
Yep. Yes. And to spark the reading in some young readers across Alabama, we have on today Monica Anderson. We actually have on Dr. Dee Bennett as well. You won't be able to see her or hear her, but just know she is part of this podcast as well. She is in the background. She's going to be listening in. She'll maybe type in something if we miss something along the way.
Yeah, I'll try to watch for her. Yeah. She can send something in the private chat and I'll add it in there. This is going to be great. I love it.
Technical difficulties this morning, no problem. But they are here with us and they have an initiative called Short the Squirrel. It's the best name ever. I can't wait to dig in and find out all about this. So you want to go ahead and bring her on?
Yes. What is this short squirrel? Let's talk about this. Hey, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Thanks so much for having us. We love to talk about Short the Squirrel and readers across Alabama and our program. So thank you for having us. You do a great job with your magazine and getting the word out about all the good stuff happening. I truly enjoy reading all of it. So thanks for giving this reader something good.
And we didn't even pay you to say that. So that's amazing.
No, you didn't.
That's amazing. That was free.
No, it's fantastic. You know, it's really exciting. I was thrilled. You guys reached out to us. You guys found us and you were like, hey, we want to be a part of this. And I was like, once you told me what it was that Short the Squirrel is, I said, oh my goodness, this is like the coolest thing. So what we'll do, Monica, if you'll go ahead and kind of give an introduction on yourself and get a little bit of background on Short the Squirrel and how it all came to be.
Well, sure. So I'm Monica Anderson Young. I grew up in Baldwin County, met my husband at Troy University, and then we moved away and we were gone doing the career chasing thing for over 30 years and moved back into the area really right before the pandemic started. And so and that's part of the journey story, actually. Our oldest daughter is an assistant DA in Mobile, and she and her husband work there. And this actually, the whole premise for Short the Squirrel came about. It was born in Mobile, so to speak, because McRae saw kids coming into the courtroom without something to do. They can't have electronics. They're very idle, and they would just sit there just pretty much bored because it's not typically a demographic bringing a backpack of things to do in a courthouse. And these kids could be in there for a number of reasons. They there while a parent pays a traffic ticket. True story. That's how my three got introduced to the court system, is paying a traffic ticket. And I thought it would be a great idea for them to come see how it all worked. And we were there for hours when they were really young. I mean, they were in swimsuits because I thought we were going to zip in, pay, and go to the pool.
Not so much, huh?
Not so much. So real life story needed that. It could be people going to get a passport. We've got a county in Alabama who've ordered several of these kits because families come in to get passports and then sit there for so long. It could be a number of reasons. And then, of course, the tragic part of when kids are involved in the court system as either victims, testifying, custody cases, what have you. So there are a number of reasons that kids walk in the door of all of our courthouses in Alabama. And McRae noticed that need. She mentioned it. Dee and I were able to reunite. Again, I've been gone a long time. She was hosting something in Troy for an alumni meeting for our sorority. I ended up, a group of us spent the night with her, and she's like, tell me about what you're doing for work. And I was like, oh, I love my job. I love my job. But let me tell you about this. And so we started talking about my idea to put an activity sheet in the Mobile courthouse that really was going to be Mobile, one and done, with just some crayons. My daughter's like, you mean like a restaurant or church? I'm like, exactly. And it sprung from there. And Dee and I just started bouncing ideas off of each other. She's like, I love this. And I'm like, I love that you love this, because she's a formal headmaster. She's been a psychometrist. She's been a kindergarten teacher. She's an education professor, and she is just a dynamo. So it's the best partnership anybody could ever ask for. And I think that's also unique about our organization is it's two women. We don't make money off of this. We're just trying to make a difference. And we have this huge passion project, and we match each other's energy. And it's just such a wonderful gift to be able to do that together.
Oh, that's so insane. I love it. Okay, so do you think that in the magazine, you explain a little bit of you have a background with some reading and some authoring as well. And so you and your daughter had gotten together and you guys were co-authoring a book review column. Is that correct?
Yes. And this is really how McRae noticed these children having this experience. When she was in high school, we wrote a children's book review column together. I did it for the Winston-Salem Journal. It actually was picked up in some different markets as well. I'm a former high school English teacher, taught in Excel, Alabama before we started our career journey all over the place. And
wow.
So McRae and I wrote that together, and we were only the third authors of that column in its 50-year history at the time. I did have a once a week show with a local news broadcast to kind of tell the good books that were out for kids. So we had that background, and that's probably what spawned her being able to see that. She actually started a nonprofit when she was in high school called Cheer Readers, so that busy cheerleaders could go read to kids before they went to school to try to get their service hours in.
Oh, that is incredible. Really, it's you and Dr. D, but it's really you, Dr. D, and your daughter too, that have really made this whole initiative possible. This is incredible.
Well, you know that she's always been a reader, and that's something you need to be an attorney. That's for sure. So
that's incredible. That's incredible. Okay, so tell us a little bit about, so you have this booklet and it goes out into courthouses, you said maybe post office, places where people get their passports and things like that. What exactly is in the booklet? What exactly are the kids being exposed to?
So that's a great question. And let me start it with our whole mission that as we got into this, we had to refine what exactly we were doing, because some people think that we're just a program that goes into schools as a supplemental educational thing in schools. We do go to schools. That's to get kids aware of short. So build that awareness so that when they're in the community and they see the literacy kits, that they will pick them up. And so our premise is waiting time is reading time. And that when a child is idle or waiting for his or her adult, that's when, instead of being on the screen, they can actually be physically doing things in this consumable kit, which includes the booklet. It includes crayons, and it depends on where they are, the amount of crayons we put in it. Believe it or not, we've got this very scientific approach to it. And different kits have different extra things in it. For example, the Short and Court kit has an extra handout in it that's sponsored by Stenograph. And so the kids can fold it, and it looks like a pretend stenograph machine, so they can pretend that they are taking notes along with the court reporter.
I love it.
Oh, I would do that.
I know, that's so exciting. That's awesome.
Yeah. And then the booklets themselves, we say they're meant for edutainment. So they're educating, but they're also entertaining. For example, in our Short and Court book, we have funny laws in Alabama. So we tried to say very respectful, like you need to obey the laws, but here are some of our funny ones. One is don't tie your alligator to a fire hydrant. Another
I
is,
just did that yesterday. I
I
didn't
know,
know it was
right?
illegal.
That'll get you. You can't wear a mustache in church in Alabama. And my favorite one is don't put an ice cream cone in your back pocket. That's against the law in Alabama.
I'd heard that one. Yeah, I'd heard that one. Yeah.
Wow. You know,
Yeah.
I haven't thought of doing that, but now I think I should try it. It sounds fun and rebellious.
Well, and the reason is because back in the day, you owned your horse in the town limits. But if your horse went on its own outside of the town limits, it was free game for somebody to take. So a horse thief would stick an ice cream cone in his or her back pocket and lure the horse out of the town limits and then take the horse. So instead of just saying, don't steal a horse,
Yes.
Alabama, which has the longest constitution of any state, said, don't put an ice cream in your back pocket. That's against the law.
Oh my goodness. You know, I love Alabama, but that sounds about right.
Well, I love that story because I think, that makes history come alive to a child.
Yes.
It makes, this is why reading is fun stories, fun facts like that. And so that's just the approach we're taking. We also, in each of the booklets, which like Short Gets Sick, we show different career paths a child can take with kind of a galley wall of different careers that they might see in a doctor's office. And then in all of the booklets, when we have that career wall or that galley wall, we leave a blank space and we put you so they can draw their own picture so that they see that they are part of the court system. They are part of the healthcare system. They are part of the financial system. And so we really try to link the child's experience with what they are doing in those literacy kits.
This is incredible. So y'all didn't just throw something together. You guys got really specific on what is going in these books. Yeah, this is insane. Okay, so there was a part of me that was really hoping that you were going to come on air in a short costume. I know that you guys, that is a huge part of your program. And so tell us a little bit.
It's my squirrel costume.
I'm going to put this on the screen so anybody who's watching, if they don't have a copy of the magazine, this guy right there. That's Short.
That is Short.
About Short and how y'all came up with Short.
Well, honestly, Short would be on this broadcast if Dee and I were not on the road because he goes everywhere. And to us, Short is like a real thing. I think our husbands think we're so weird, but
that's okay. It's okay.
It's okay. But we realized soon that these kids are not going to, like, you don't say, oh, today we're going to court, I bet we're going to get a free literacy kit. I mean, nobody thinks that way. Or today we're going to the doctor, I bet you're going to see a Short consumable literacy kit. And back to what we were saying earlier, everything is so highly researched. Dee, of course, is an education professor. I'm getting my PhD right now. Everything we do is researched, it's vetted. We take it to professionals in the area. They look at it. When we did Short's Money Tree in conjunction with the Alabama Securities Commission, every step of the way, we were consulting them for content. Here's a fun fact that you might know, but Director Joseph Borg of the Alabama Securities Commission and his team have taken Alabama to be, what number do you think in financial literacy education? Where do you think Alabama ranks?
Somewhere towards the bottom, unfortunately.
That's what everybody says, but no, we are in the top 10 of the U.S. because of the efforts of Director Joe Borg and the Alabama Securities Commission. And they are just our role models with how they have transformed that for Alabama. And when they realized they didn't have anything for ages 4 to 9, our target audience, that's when they came to us for a partnership. And so we've worked with them to make sure that curriculum in that literacy kit follows what they are doing for adult education. And all of our books, which are bilingual, by the way, Spanish and in English, have adult facts on each page. So there's a fact for the adults that matches what the concept is for the child, so that this can actually be a family literacy activity.
I love this. And, you know, financial literacy is something that Brooks here is 110% behind all the time. And so I think that is something, now that knowing that you guys provide something, we need to get our hands on some of these because we would love to be able to put them out into the public as well. And so I know that initiatives like this are not just thrown together. everyone needs a little bit of funding. And so are you guys personally funding this? Are you getting donations from the public or from the state with grants? How does that work for you guys?
Another great question. Let me rewind to the question I didn't fully answer about our actual short, because it does tie in with the funding.
Yeah.
So to give the kids eager to pick up the kits, we needed funding for our mascot suit, and we now have two, and those have come from grants. They've come from generous donations. The Montgomery County Commissioners have been a huge supporter of this, including that first donation from Commissioner Rhonda Walker to purchase the first short suit. So our 6-foot squirrel, we realized kids just seeing the kit, that doesn't excite them. And we also realized, like I said, they're not going to just pick it up if they don't know. And so what was the quickest way to get to a child? Through the school system. So Rhonda financially supported that with Montgomery County Commissioners, and we were able to get that suit. And we've gotten the Alabama Law Foundation grant twice. They were our first grant to believe in us. Before that, friends and family, they just really chipped in. But so far, we've been so blessed to have the Alabama Law Foundation grant twice. The Montgomery County Commissioners have been a big supporter. The Pike County Commissioners have been an early supporter. The Alabama Clerks Association, with the clerks in the court systems, have been a giver to us. Hill Carter has been a generous supporter. Bradley law firm in Birmingham has not only supported us financially, but our IP attorney does our work pro bono, and he has just,
oh, wow.
We love him so much that we even have a character named Jake the Great, after that attorney. And
I love it.
So we just got the Daniel Foundation grant, which is going to be our first real book, our first trade book or picture book, as you will, that explains why Short loves to read. So funding comes from a myriad of places. But what we really need is, we've done a great job getting the word out to the children. In fact, for Short Goes to Mardi Gras, we had enough educators register for the birthday party that over 35,000 Alabama school children got to watch the birthday video and come to Mobile virtually. But what we need now is, we need the community members to put these kits in attorneys' offices, in the medical facility waiting rooms, in the bank lobbies. Our realtors could have these in their offices for when families come to buy their first house. Title offices, that these will entertain the children while the adults do their jobs.
You know, when you said earlier, waiting time is reading time, that really stuck out to me, because there are so many times that you're in the line for carpool, you're in the line nowadays all the time. And so even if you're in like the fast food line, you're in there, you're waiting, and instead of having that screen, you have something that, the kids can be doing. I think having an extra book in the car is always a great idea, but something like this is incredible. So how would you get your kids in the hands of community members to get them out to the places you would like them to be? They reach out to you guys, or how does that work?
They can reach out to contact@shortthesquirrel.com. We also have our first store, because we were realizing that we're taking all this time running to the post office with just mailing things out. And so Boosters of Montgomery has been so generous to create this for and with us. And it's shortthesquirrelstore.com, where people can order the kits, and we'll just ship them to them, and they can put it out in their offices, and it's wonderful.
I think that's just fantastic. So if there is a teacher or a principal or someone out there who is in education and they're listening this, or they're watching this podcast, how can they get Short to come to their school?
That is also another great question. You're just full of wonderful things. I'm like, oh, I feel like we rehearsed this. But but yes, they can also reach out to contact@shortthesquirrel.com, and we've got a form they can fill out that can request a visit. And so there is a small fee for that, and that just actually that funds our feet, our paws on the ground, if you will, and the young people that come to that. A couple aspects of this that a lot of people don't realize is, we have reached over 400 volunteers at this point. Great groups, like we've had wonderful Greek organizations at Troy University, and the football team, Stuff Packets, the tennis team at Alabama State University have done that as well. We've worked with several universities. The University of Alabama picked us up to be their PR campaign class
Oh my goodness.
in the fall, and they gave us some wonderful material to use for that. In fact, our intern is a Baldwin County native, Mallory Westery, who is also a PR student at the University of Alabama. And we have an opening because she's graduating. So if there's anybody out there who knows a university PR student who wants a really awesome internship, and we do pay, not much, but we do pay a stipend for that, thanks to those generous grants. But it's just been a really great opportunity to get into the community. So anybody who wants anything from us, questions, school visits, packets for your community area, whatever, contact at Short the Squirrel, and that comes right to us, and we'd love to answer you.
Do you think some like hubs could be useful? I was just thinking of while you were saying that, maybe even some organizations that are in the different communities or areas. Like I'm thinking in Mobile, there may be some other like actual nonprofits as well that would probably love to be almost a hub for the kits for you guys and have people pick them up from them. Would that be something that would be useful or helpful, or does that not really fit in, do you think? Or
No, that totally would work. We're open. Listen, like I said before, we're not I don't want to say this the wrong way. We're very controlling of our brand because we want to make sure it stays very true to what we're delivering. And because, like I said before, we're so research centric. So we are very true to our brand, but we're not very controlling about getting it out there. During Mardi Gras, we gave out 8,000 Short Goes to Mardi Gras miniature kits to kids who were at the parades, on the floral parades, and then also the Daphne Fire Truck Parade. And we just want to get literature in the hands of kids. So we're open to any discussion, any group that wants to work with us, call us. The National Charities League in Baldwin County, they were a huge help, or on the Eastern Shore, I should say. They stuffed those 8,000 kits, and then they served as our reading fairies to hand them out. So we love to work with other nonprofit groups. It's important to us. And we also think the more people that know about Short, the more likelihood we are to get in the hands of kids. And there's a misconception, huge misconception, that literacy is a low socioeconomic issue. And it's not in 2022, because the affluent parents who can hand a tablet or hand a screen to a child, the literacy rates are dropping for that level too. So it's growing to be,
yeah, I can see that,
a huge problem across the board. And with COVID backing our education up like it has for the last 2 years, all of us own this problem. You know, you go to the airport, and I've been to so many this week. If you see something, say something. And that's how this started. McRae saw something, she said something, and then it has turned into all of us doing something. And so the more people who are doing something together in the community, and this is an easy way to do it, then we can make a difference. Just like Director Joe Borg has with financial literacy education in Alabama. We're 49th. Thank you, Mississippi, right? And I say that with 2 Ole Miss graduates, but we can change this. We can change this, but we all have to do it together. So no matter what somebody's doing in their life, if they've got a space where a child is waiting at any point in that professional journey, this is something you can do to make a difference, is give them a kit.
I love it. I absolutely love it. You guys are doing amazing work. Well, Brooks has a question that he always likes to ask as we wrap up our podcast, and I will let him take it from here.
She puts so much pressure, like it's this crazy thing. Every time I'm like, okay. It's fun. No, I just like to give the opportunity. Like, is there something that you haven't been asked yet, or something you wished we had asked you, or something you wish people would ask you more that we haven't talked about yet, or, you know, something else you'd want to shine an extra light on? Does any specific thing come to mind when I say all that?
Sure. One thing people can do is, especially if you have kids and you're watching this, is follow us on social media. We try to do reading prompts with our social media. Our team does a great job Chelsea Russell is a young professional who has just really stepped into the role of creating some really great material and working with Mallory, who I mentioned earlier. So you guys can find that on social media, which includes the videos on our YouTube channel that are also free. So we try to take those investments of grants and be very, very careful with the money trusted to us to get as much material out as possible that is free for parents, for caregivers, for guardians, and for our primary and most important stakeholder, Alabama's youngest citizen.
I love it.
Love it. And if people want to connect with you guys, what's the best way? What, all the people hearing, whether it's community supporters or people want to give you some money or whatever, what's the best avenue to you guys?
It's contact@shortthesquirrel.com. And for the Mobile people listening to this, I just really hope you go and you look at our video on YouTube, Short Goes to Mardi Gras. You will see so many fun things about Mobile included in that. And it's just wonderful. It features Edie Douglas, who is a second grade teacher at St. Ignatius and a former Mobile Carnival queen, as well as Terrell Patrick, who works for the DA's office, who was featured in National Geographic when he was the Mamga King. And they are our MCs. They do an amazing job, and they take us around Mobile and look at just what makes Mobile special. And then they end up with a tour of the museum. And that is kind of our thing. We do our birthday parties at museums. We started with the Rosa Parks in Montgomery Museum. We've come down to the Mobile Carnival Museum. And then for our third birthday, which will be February 2023, Short turns 3, it'll be a reading blast off in Huntsville. And we'll be looking at our space program.
Fantastic. Oh, that sounds fun.
Dang. Yeah, I'm like, let's book that. Let's get, that
I know,
awesome.
right?
Like, we want to go.
Sounds like a good time.
I feel like I'm really getting to know Alabama again. 4th grade history, 7th grade history, whatever, Alabama history. But it's like all coming alive for me, which is so much fun as, a lifetime #nerd. So it is great.
Love it.
No, it's fantastic. Thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to be with us today. And I think Dr. Bennett had to hop off. So we appreciate her being in spirit in the background with us today as well. But yeah, keep on doing all the good that you were doing.
Well, thanks. We could not do it without each other. Dee is just, again, a tremendous partner. And we just have so much fun together. And somebody said, how long are you going to do this? And we were like, we can't stop. Every time we turn around, we find another waiting place that can make a difference in kids' lives.
Yes.
So Dee and I are equally matched on our passion to get those into the hands of kids. And kids, you need to start reading, because I'm working so much on this. I can't read as much as I like to.
Right? You're like, the ones that are doing the work are usually the ones that don't get to do the work in the end. So I love it.
So no, I'm always reading, so that's fine. All right. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
And next time we're together, we'll bring you Short.
That would be fantastic.
Sounds good. Talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
That was great.
That was fantastic.
I want to meet this Short the Squirrel.
I know. I kind of.
Who's in the? I see in this picture. I was going to ask who's in this thing.
Do you want to be in
Kinda.
Yeah.
I
should have been like, hey, you have someone right here willing.
Yeah, maybe I could.
Mascot.
Maybe I could donate my time to be Short the Squirrel one day. Get my photo or something. That'd be a good time. That was really cool.
That's awesome.
The name is quite intriguing, right? The organization, Short the Squirrel. It definitely makes you ask, what is that? Please tell me more, which is good. Intriguing is good in today's time, right? Gaining attention is awesome.
I love it.
That's good. Well, I look forward to connecting with them more and looking up. I wrote down the Short Goes to Mardi Gras, YouTube, some Alabama laws. I was over here writing notes. I'm gonna go check out all this stuff.
Absolutely.
And I love that she gave the email address multiple times. So contact@shortthesquirrel.com. That sounds like that is your connection. That is your way to get to them, which is great. So any final words? Do we see everybody next time?
Go read.
Read, guys.
Get out there and go read.
Get out there and #read. I was gonna say do my bill, but yeah, that's okay. All right. See you next time.
All right. Bye.